Good evening, folks. Welcome to the 2 Cents Speakeasy. I am Bran.
What's up, you guys? It's Armand.
And I am at Pieces of Verb with 2 B's. And you can find Armand at Armand for Congress with the 4, because we do this for y'all. I mean, I've been working on that intro, brother. Welcome back, y'all. It's episode 26. And, man, we're going to start it off with a little bit of today's mathematics. And I just wanted to give a shout out to a few of the victims in this Orlando incident. We're not even going to say the perpetrator's name, because I feel like when people do those things, they try to become a martyr, or they try to get shine in an evil way. So we're not even going to acknowledge that clown. And I just want to read some names off. Louis Omar, he was 20 years old. Juan Ramon was 22 years old. Eric Rivera was 36 years old. And Amanda Alvera was 25 years old. And we just want to send some good vibes to their families. And these were positive, productive people. And we want to put their names in the air and just send a God bless and condolences to everybody involved in that incident.
And what's crazy is my brother, he lives in Orlando, Kelly, and he was supposed to fly back down to Orlando the night of the shooting.
Yeah.
And that's a club he does frequent.
Right.
So I mean, it hit close home for me by a sense, because we don't talk as much. You know what I mean? But hearing that his flight was canceled, because who knows, it wasn't canceled, he might have been there that night.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because he was supposed to be back there Saturday night, and then that popped off 2 o'clock in the morning, and he had friends personally that he knew that were passed away from that incident. So
right.
Definitely crazy times, man.
Yeah, very, very, very sad story, man. Sad story. And for the listeners, we got Zoe with us tonight. If you didn't recognize the voice, family to the show. And tonight we're going to focus on Nas and the Queensbridge history and rap dynasty. And we usually kind of do multiple topics, but we're gonna, we figured we're gonna pay some homage and just give QB a whole entire episode. Who knows? We this might be part 1 of how many. You know what I mean? It's a lot out there, a lot of stuff we can talk about. But so, man, I just wanted to get y'all opinions first. Queensbridge as a whole, Queensbridge, USA, which is the largest housing project in the nation, in America. To me, a benchmark, a landmark for rap history, music history in general. And, I had the pleasure to actually visit Queensbridge back in 2006. And it's a funny story. I was with Kev and Steve, actually. Mm-hmm. And our homegirl was from New York. And she, it's funny, man, that was my first time going to New York as an adult.
Yeah.
And it's funny, the first place I wanted to go was Queensbridge.
Yeah, not Times Square.
Yeah.
Not Harlem.
Not Harlem, not Times Square. I said, I want to see Queensbridge. And she was just looking at me like, are you crazy? Why you want to go there? And it was like, man, I just got to see where my rap idols is from.
Yeah.
I got to see the steps they stepped on. And, we heard all the music, but I needed the visual.
Yeah.
And so needless to say, she drove probably about 5 minutes to Queensbridge, and she refused to go all the way to the bridge because she felt unsafe.
Yeah.
And mind you, it was 3 o'clock in the afternoon. It wasn't dark. And so she stopped her car and she said, y'all can walk and meet me. So I walked through the bridge. I don't know what building I was in. But Armand, the famous picture where it says Queensbridge houses in in orange.
Yeah.
I walked past that, John, and I wanted to take a pic so bad, but I didn't want to look like a tourist. You know what I mean? Because I was still I wasn't afraid at all, but it's it's still a dangerous place.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm I ain't want to look too much like.
Listen, we all stay at the out of town. They've been breaking off before we get the full pounders.
Right.
Off the street.
I heard the Mobb Deep songs, man. I wasn't playing no games. But yeah, man. So that's my little Queensbridge story, and it was I'll never forget that. You know what I mean? Being able to go to the bridge.
Yeah. I think when we look at the barrows, I mean, obviously everything started in the Bronx. That's the Mecca.
Right.
But you can almost look at QB as like Jerusalem in a sense.
Right.
You know what I mean? As far as the history there and like our prophets, you know what I mean? Whether the Tragics, the Nas's, of course, the Mobb Deeps, and so forth. So, I mean, definitely a rich history. Because we're talking about barrows, but here's a housing project within a barrow that was pretty much, for a good chunk of the late 80s into the 90s, was really the forefront of hardcore New York rap music.
No doubt. No doubt. And, you know, again, for the listeners, man, you know, Zoe's well versed in rap, as you all should know by now. But, man, I put Armand up against anybody's knowledge when it comes to QB. You know what I mean? And myself as well. And I don't even mean like just my friends. I put Armand up against anybody in the world. Like, that's not, you know, other than people from the bridge. Other than that, I put him up against anybody, man. So
I was speaking that Dun language since I was in Catholic school. I've been on that. Before I make my comment, man, I was just driving. So there's no reason that anybody should be walking around with no shirt on. Absolutely, it's unacceptable, man. Just in any situation, if you run out of the track or something, whether it was swimming, but just be walking down the street with no shirt on, it's like it's offensive to me.
You not working out?
No, he just walks. Back to the bridge, though.
Yeah.
You know, Queensbridge, man, to me was like Rome.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was like I think Cormega said it. It was like basically like Rome, and it like kind of fell on its own, like crumbled from within. It wasn't like no outside forces. I mean, it was just, you know, from the music standpoint, it was a certain era. Like I wouldn't pit nobody against them. If they were like together and like banded together, there's nobody that could mess with them. I don't care, no Dog Pound, no Rock Up, nobody. I mean, it was just a whole nother level of like classic music, and so that's why I always, you know, when we doing these podcasts, you know, some of the stuff, you know, you guys be talking about, like, I don't even know, cause I was Queens, I always say I was Queensbridge out, so I was like, it was like a QB thing for me, you know what I mean? I knew the people names like Twin Gambino and them, right? If I saw them, I would know who they are, you know, by just seeing them. So we was like really, I was hooked on them. My older brother put me on, man. It was just, I mean, none of that stuff, and it's classic music though. It's not even like, it's like trash, but it's like classic music, you know what I mean? I can bring majority of the stuff that came out of that era. I liken it to like an area where, you know, it's like a high school or something that got really, really good basketball players, or an area that got really good basketball players. Right. Their area was known for just having really, really good rap.
Right.
Really, really good rap.
Well, listen, man, as we talk about the bridge, man, we got to start with the history before we get into the present and the future. So let's talk about what I like to call the first phase of QB history, which is, starts with 86, The Bridge, which is MC Shan and Marley Marl, which spawns the Juice Crew. That has Coogee Rap, Kane, Roxanne Shante, you name it, Craig G, Young Tragedy, and, just some landmark pieces of music at that time. You got 88's Marley in Control Volume 1, the 86 album from MC Shan, and also, like the Juice Crew extensions. So I just wanted to hear you guys' standpoint on how y'all felt about the 80s period of the bridge, with G-Rap and Kane and Biz and Roxanne and, MC Shan and all those people.
I mean, I look at it like it's like the the blueprint for everything. When you look at G-Rap style, he wasn't Queensbridge, but he was still a focal point of that crew. And you look at all like the styles that we hear today with like the Nas and everything else. These were the elders they were pulling from. You know what I mean? So getting to their blueprint and then be able to modify it to something more big on a big grander scheme of things as the bridge develop. But here's the architects right here showing that this is how we're going to lay this down. You know what I mean? and when you're starting to see more transition, more from like the club or the more field of music to more like grittiness.
Right. Yeah, for me, I mean, that 80s run for them was, I mean, if the Bridge never has nothing in the 90s, I mean, that's still historical.
Exactly. I mean, that was the first supergroup.
Yeah.
Jesus Crew itself.
Yeah. And what I mean, Kane is from Brooklyn, and Biz is from Long Island, I believe.
Yeah.
But they're extensions.
But they're extensions
of Queens, and as we go further into the history, we'll find other extensions as it continues to just grow on. But for me, man, if sticking it to Queensbridge, I think Kool G Rap really, out of all these '80s guys, with the exemption for DJ Marley Marr because he was a producer, but G Rap really is the father of that grimy QB sound. When you look back at those,
and he was from Corona, but still that extension there.
When you look at the Cats That Come,
exactly.
And I mean, Shan was more like a performer and more like a showman. You know what I mean? But G Rap was really the start of that. I mean, Ice-T, G Rap, Schoolie D pretty much started gangster rap. Yeah. So
definitely. But I mean, when you look at G Rap, to me, as far as the multi-syllable, rapid fire flow, where we're hearing, more of earlier Nas, and of course the stitching with Big Pun later on, and so forth. I mean, like nobody was doing that, style that. So that kind of had like his own, niche in the game right there.
Right.
Everybody, just doing the regular flow, and here he come like hitting with multiple syllables right from the gate.
Right. Master Ace too. I can't forget about Master
Ace.
And they was young dudes at that point. Mm-hmm. Armand, what about you, man? What's your standpoint on the '80s Bridge?
I mean, that was a live era, but it was a little bit before my era. Like my cousins, kind of hit me on to all of them, and MC Shan, all that stuff, and the Bridge, and his beef with KRS and all that stuff. But it was like Roxanne Sante, that was way a little bit more before my era. So I never really bought none of their stuff or like sang their stuff aggressively. My first introduction to Queensbridge was Juvenile Hell. My beat first John hit it from the back and all that. Like my personal baptism was them, but hit it from the back. And on the Juvenile Hell album, so that's where I really started kind of listening intently. Like, hey, this neighborhood, man, I keep hearing that QB. They, and you know what? I think they rep their neighborhood harder than Brooklyn too. Because Dickie reps Brooklyn.
Yeah.
But the two most notorious neighborhoods is Queensbridge and Brooklyn. I never met any rappers that rap where they was from harder than those two areas. No Queensbridge rapper would never go on a track and not say nothing about QB.
Right.
It was strictly QB.
I think on the outside level, I give Atlanta props. Too.
Yeah.
I mean, not now. You got so many riders on the but
yeah,
on
they
the
like transplants. They're not even from Atlanta, so
right.
I see what you mean.
But Brooklyn and QB, unbelievable. So the first phase of albums is pretty much from 85 to 92, and so before we jump into the second phase, which is kind of like if the 80s was like the Showtime Lakers, then the 90s was like Shaq and Kobe for QB. You know what I mean? If we doing metaphorically like with sports, where do you all fit? Where do you all place Marley Marr? Where do you guys rank him as a producer of all time?
That's hard.
That's a tough one. All time, though? I don't know about what him all times.
Maybe top 10, maybe. And it's not disrespect or shade at him. It's just that when you think of his best production, it was during pretty much the first stages. He had a couple stuff here and there in the 90s, but I don't know, there's enough body of work overall to say, okay, he's on a primo level or a Dre level. I mean, you know what I mean? But I mean, you can't deny his influence, though.